Hey team, welcome to part 3. My name is Jesse Dale. This is part 3 of our How to Beat the Tar Out of Fear series. So this is part 3. If you haven't checked out part 1 and 2, definitely go back and check those out. So we mentioned in part 1 that fear is false evidence appearing real. But you know what? That is not always the case. Sometimes the fear, our fear, is based off raw fact, raw data, raw fact. And that it needs to be, because fear is actually a protective mechanism in our body. That's why sometimes it paralyzes us. It can be a very good thing. So let me kind of tell you a little bit about what I'm talking about with that. So let's just say that I want to open up a business, all right? I can look at the raw fact that 80%, some people say up to 90%, but a large amount of small businesses fail. So I can focus on that fact and be like, heck no, small businesses have a 10% success rate. That's crazy. Why would I ever open up a small business when they have an 80 or 90% failure rate, okay? I can look at another example. I could say, I really want to get married. I am happily married, but if I wasn't, I could say, I really want to get married. And then I can look at facts that say, well, I think it's 45% of marriages end in divorce, or some people say more, some people say less. So that could paralyze me. I could be, whoa, that's a horrible bet. I'm not gonna bet on marriage. I'm not gonna bet on love. That has such a high failure rate. Those are irrefutable raw facts. So, but wait a minute. There's also facts to the opposite, okay? So there's opposite, going to the business, there are facts that these thousands or millions of businesses are thriving, okay? So now I have a choice. I can focus on the ones that are thriving, and that is going to be my reality, because that's what I'm looking at. I'm just looking, you come to me and you say 90%, I'm like, well, guess what? 100% of the businesses that I know are succeeding. That's my reality. That doesn't make your statistic or your fact wrong, but it makes it wrong for me, because that's not where I'm focusing on. You know, what you focus on is what you're going to see daily. If you're focused on the 80% of businesses closing, you're gonna go downtown, you're gonna look around, you're gonna get on Facebook, and you're gonna see businesses closing everywhere. If you're focusing on the 20% who are just smashing it, you're gonna be like, wow, now has never been a better opportunity, better time to 10x my business, because that fact still remains true. It just isn't your truth. Okay, so here is 3 ways that you can literally pave the way to your future based off faith and not fear, and evidence. Okay, so if you're faced with a decision that fear is holding you back, number 1, collect evidence, raw evidence, and focus on raw evidence of people that have done what you're afraid to do. Okay? That's why do you think when the 4-minute mile was broken, immediately, right after the 4-minute mile was broken, tons of people, people have been saying that it was impossible for years. People were afraid to even try. The second one man broke that 4-minute mile, like literally that year, like 28 people broke the 1-minute mile. Why? Because now they had evidence. They're like, well, if he can do it, that's evidence. Number 2, so after you've collected evidence that what you want to do is possible, regardless of the fear that you have, number 2, get around the right people who are doing it. Okay, so maybe you read about, okay, people are opening these businesses, people are having successful marriages, people are having a great faith-based life. You've read about it. Now get around people who are living it. Get around people who are growing their faith. Get around people who are growing their business. Get around people who are growing the area you want to grow in, but you're afraid to. Get around those right people. Number 3, the right leaders, the way makers. You know, my leader is JC, man. JC, he's my way maker. He can do anything. And guess what? I can say with confidence, I can do anything. Okay? Through him. I can do anything. There is and that's not arrogant, that's not pride, that's not being cocky, that's saying, hey, he's my leader, he's the way maker, he's given me people that are making this happen, he's given me evidence that make this happen, he made it happen, he's given me the ability to make it happen, so man, there's nothing I can't do. Make $1 million? Sure, no problem. Win a bodybuilding show? Sure, no problem. Whatever it is that he graced me with, I can do. So get around the right waymakers. Get around the leaders who aren't going to buy your story, who aren't going to buy your nonsense, and are only going to focus you in the growth driven direction. All right, so that is how we're gonna take this thing home. 3 things that you can do to completely smash your fear. I hope this series was beneficial for you. And my challenge to you right now is, what evidence are you gathering? What people are you surrounding yourself by? And who are your leaders? Who are your waymakers? You guys have a great rest of your day, and we look forward to seeing you in future daily walks.